Hey guys, it's Charlene. Today we're going to talk about layering and I'm going to give you lots of tips along the way. I'm using the new Lovely Layers Cats as well as the Lovely Layers Cat Bed from Honeybee Stamps. So I'll start by die cutting a few things. I've started by cutting out several items to create this cute little cat bed as well as this little mouse toy and hanging cat toy. You can see there are a lot of different options in terms of little toppers that you can put on top of the cat bed, which is really fun. I thought this would be a nice combination. My inspiration for this was a piece of pattern paper that I'm going to use for my background. So you can see that all of my colors coordinate really well with this background piece. I'll start by layering up my pieces. I have everything lined up in order of how it needs to be put together. You can go in whichever direction you prefer. I'm going to start here by adding glue to the back of the detail piece. This piece layers right over the center of the next layer. To make sure you get a nice placement, you can put your fingers inside here and run them along the edge of the die cut, and that will pull it around each side. Next, I want to get a sense of where I want to put the cat bed, so I'm just going to temporarily set that inside on the base there, and then I'm going to place my piece that we layered right over the top, and I can kind of move the bed around until I like where it is. So now I'll lift the piece up that we layered, and I can add a small amount of glue along this bottom portion and lay it right over the top so that my cat bed will be perfectly placed. Because I put that piece back there, I'm going to use some really thin foam tape around these back edges. I've added that, and now I can line it up along the top with our base piece. Now I can add some glue to the center of these ears. There's a little embossed detail that shows exactly where the ears need to go. Pick those up here and just place them right where they need to be. Once I've layered those, I'm going to add a small amount of glue right along the edge, and these are going to get tucked behind our finished cat bed. Before I tuck them, I'm going to kind of push the piece up. This is going to help them go in place exactly where they need to be. Now I can just gently lift up the main part of the cat bed and set it over the top. This cute little pom-pom toy, I'll add some glue to the center of the larger piece, and the smaller pom-pom part will layer directly over it in the exact same formation. I'll add glue to the end of this piece, and I will tuck it in where I want it to hang from the top of the cat bed. And then to make sure it's nice and adhered, I'm actually going to bring my tweezers in from the top and tuck them in there so that it's holding the piece in place while it dries. Here is that adorable finished cat bed. So I'll set this aside, and now we can work on our cute little toy mouse. I wanted to show you here, there are some very small embossed details on the mouse that are going to show you where the eye, the ear, and the nose go. Just need a teeny tiny amount of glue. You don't want to add very much, otherwise it's going to squish out from underneath those tiny die cut pieces. So I added the glue in the embossed spots, and then I can lay those tiny die cuts directly over the embossed detail. Next, I'll add some glue to the back of this body portion and layer it over the piece that has the attached tail. These little pieces are finicky, but I think it's totally worth it for this cute little toy mouse detail. I'm going to make this cute kitty cat here, so you can see there's a main body piece, then one that goes over it, a head, a little nose area, and you've got some eyes as well as tail layers, and then a little foot that goes on there. I did cut out a couple of extra pieces because I want our cat to have some depth. So I cut 2 heads, 2 of this body piece. I decided to do the little snout as well as the end of tail in white. Oh, there's my little paw, so I'll bring that in. I'll start by gluing anything that I have 2 layers of. So I'll start with gluing together the 2 heads, so that way I don't forget to do it as I'm layering everything. And then I will layer the 2 body pieces. I'm going to wait for the smaller pieces. I'll add them on once I've layered up the main cat because I think that will be easier. So I'll start by taking this second layer of the body, adding some glue to the back, And on the main body piece for the cat, you can see there's an area that has no embossed details. So that's where this piece will layer directly over. I'll do the same thing for the head here. I'm going to add glue to the back of the head, and then I will layer this over the area where there's no embossed details. You can see just by adding those 2 layers to the head and to the second body piece, you create a lot of dimension for the kitty cat. I'll do the same thing for the tail here. I'll take the whole tail piece and add some glue to the area where there's no embossed detail and lay that over the top. Then I'll do the smaller portion of the tail, add some glue and layer that piece of gray cardstock over the top. And then I'll take the white die cut and I'll layer that directly over that gray piece. Next, for the paw, I'll add a little bit of glue, again where there's no embossed detail. It makes it so easy. Pick up the gray cardstock that I cut out, add that in, add a little bit more glue, and then I can bring in the white paw. Next, I'll add the cute little white snout that I die cut. I'll put a tiny bit of glue here towards the bottom of the head, and then pick up the white snout and layer it right over that base of the head. This is probably the tiniest little piece. You might not even see it on camera. It's a teeny tiny little nose that I've cut out in pink. So I'm adding the tiniest bit of glue here. I don't want to use much at all. And then I can use my pickup tool here to grab the little nose and just lay it over the top. You also could use a pink marker to put a little dot there if you wanted to. Now for the eyes, I have cut these out in some green cardstock, so I'll add some glue to the area where there's no details, and then I can add my eyes right over the top. Here is our cute little kitty cat so far. You can see that there's a little bit of an embossed detail to the eyes. So I'm going to actually bring in a very fine point Copic multi-liner. This is 0.05, so it has a really teeny tiny tip. And I'm just going to very, very carefully come in and dot the centers of those eyes until I like the way they look. I have a general idea of how I'm going to lay everything out. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment now. I have the Pet-tastic stamps and dies. There's some really, really cute sentiments here that are kitty cat related. You've got Simply Perfect. Fur is the new glitter, which could be used for cats or dogs. You're the cat's meow. Love is a 4-legged word. Thank you for pet sitting. Lots of cute ideas. I'm gonna go with the You're Simply Perfect. I'll start by adding some anti-static powder and then coming in with clear embossing ink. And I'll stamp this a few times onto my black cardstock. I'll cover that with some bright white superfine embossing powder. I'll hang on to this with my tweezers while my heat tool heats up, and then once it's nice and hot, I'll come along melting the embossing powder. As soon as it melts, I'm going to move right on to the next area. There were a couple of white spots inside my C, so here is a fun tip for you. I'm bringing in that same Copic multi-liner and I'm just going to run it right over where the white spots are and the white disappears. I've got some low tack tape on both sides so that way my die does not move around. I'll die cut out that sentiment. Now I could layer the kitty cat directly onto the pattern paper I picked out, but I actually brought in this set, the Lovely Layers at the Beach, and I used this die right here that's meant to be a towel. I'm going to use it as a rug because it doubles perfectly for that. So I've die cut 2 of these out. I'm going to layer them up with some glue. I've laid everything out where I want it to be, so I'll start by picking up my cat with my tweezers and I'll add some glue to the back right hand side. I'll lay this right over the top and hold it just so that the glue picks up on the kitty bed. And then I'll take our mouse and add a little bit of glue along the top back. Doing the same thing, I'll lay this right over the edge of the bed. And now I can pick up that whole piece and I'm just going to set this off to the side. I'll add some glue to the back of the rug that we created. and place this so that it's in the middle of the card. I added some cardstock shims as well as some foam tape so that I can make this nice and level on my card. I'll add some glue to the back of the cat bed portion and then line this up so that it is centered on the rug. I've got some foam tape on the back of my sentiment and I'm going to tuck it in so that it's fairly centered underneath the kitty cat. Now I can add glue all the way around the back of our pattern paper and lay it on my A2 sized card base. Now I probably should have done this before I put the entire card together, but I'm going to come in with that same multi-liner and I'm going to draw in a little mouth. I'm just running that where those embossed details are. I'm also going to bring in my white gel pen, and for the embossed details on the trim going around the cat bed, I'll just run my pen back and forth. Here is our finished super cute Lovely Layers cat and cat bed card. You could, if you wanted to, add some more detail. You could use ink blending on the edges or some alcohol markers, but I think this is absolutely adorable as is. All right, guys, I hope you picked up some tips and tricks today. Please be sure to like and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell so that you'll know about future videos here on the Honeybee Stamps YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.